Hey everybody, this is Matt Hines, the most recent Guinness World Record holder for the largest Star Wars Lego collection. I'm going to show you the first room we have, which is we call the Lego room, of course. The entire Guinness collection is in here with a few little extras. Temporary room, so it's got some little plastic shelves. I don't quite love the way it's set up, but we set up by date for the most part, so it's easier to do the audit for the record. So I set it back in May with 645 sets, and it's a certain criteria. So there's no duplicates. It has to be a buildable set. So clocks and keychains don't count. It has to be an official Lego product. So it can't be a mock, it can't be a custom. So it's basically a set that Lego has made. Now, even though I set the record in May, I currently have 732 sets. So I've almost added 100 sets. The record was set, it was by John Jessinen. He had set it back in 2014. And at that time, he had upgraded to 378 sets. So I'm just gonna walk around this room a little bit. So here you're gonna have the brick heads, the buildable figures. Some are sealed, some are opened. Of course, all 12 planets. And then as we go around the room, again, start with 1999, of course. And as go around, I have all the way till about 2019, because I really haven't opened everything, and I'll show you the sealed sets. One of my favorite was actually the very first one I got, which was the Landspeeder. And now I've been married for over 20 years, but when I was dating my wife, that was one of the first little gifts she gave me on one of our dates. So that one, kind of what started it all. I played with Legos growing up as a kid. You know, I'm 45, so I had Legos in the 70s and 80s and whatnot. But I didn't really collect them. I really collect. My brothers and I did Star Wars, G.I. Joe. Play with Lego. They really accented, and you know, they were the forts and they were the bunkers we did for the G.I. Joe and whatnot. But we didn't really collect Lego, so I really started collecting in '99. I don't have every single Star Wars set. Again, as far as I know, there's some of the multi-packs I don't have. And then there are 13 exclusives. So Comic-Cons, Celebration type sets. And then the other two are going to be like the solid gold C-3PO and the 3 Boba Fett set. The 2 of those that were made. Now this back wall, of course, is some of the UCS Ultimate Collectors sets here. Ones that I've opened. I'm just going to go around and give you a little show of everything. Now, the world record was from Guinness was just the Star Wars. My wife and I also collect other sets, and I'm going to show you that room in a little bit. So Star Wars wise, the oldest set I have is going to be anything from the 1999. I do have some Lego sets from the 70s when I was a kid, some of the space. And then of course out throughout the 70s, 80s, 90s, and of course now all the Star Wars and whatnot. So here's all the poly bags, of course. The 10,000 C-3POs, and I just got a little chip holder so it can rotate, and those are all sealed. I try to get those to be sealed. Just I mean, there was no doubt that they weren't fake or custom made type things. Then here in the back wall, of course, you got the employee Christmas gift and some of the other exclusive stuff. Both X-Wings, Red 5. Now some of the stuff in here obviously is not Lego, so I have a LP, vinyl, the actual Star Wars soundtrack. Down here are all going to be all the Star Wars books that have some type of either a figure, multiple figures, or poly bags in them. Some did not count for the record. If they were a duplicate, it did not count. So even though it's in a book, if the same figure was in a poly bag or another set, it did not count. Now in this box, there are going to be all the poly bags and Lego magazines. Some English versions, some Europe, German. I have some from different countries. My wife lives over there right now. She's in the army, so she'll find them and mail them to me. So I have every single one in the entire series. And here's some more of Ultimate Collectors series. And then here's really the bulk of the exclusives. So I have the series of 6. And again, I think I'm missing 12. A friend of mine happened to be at Celebration last year, got one of the Tantos when it came out. So I got the autograph version. And there's, you got his little lightsaber, the little free exclusive just came out. Now, for those who ask, yes, I plan on opening all these. I just don't have the room right now. When I get to it, I will. Eventually, we're going to have a shop across the driveway. So there's the newest and then the oldest ISD. Then all my Lego sets will move over there and I'll have quite a bit more room. So this is just 3 little IKEA coffee tables. So I have the newest Millennium Falcon, and then of course the original. And again, there's one of the original first editions. I have the quad, 4-barrel cannon sticker. Of course the VIP stuff, and then the certificate of authenticity. It's never been opened. I can't remember what number it is. I can hold it to the light later. So again, as you saw, most things in here are opened. There's some that are sealed, and maybe it's because it's room. So in this closet here is the rest. So for those who know their Lego sets, there are obviously a lot of sets missing, and that's because everything else is in here. Let me turn the light for you. So there's over 200 sets in this closet alone. All the advent calendars and the helmet series over there. And so now when I get them, right now I just kind of put them on my database, check off my brick set. And just put them in there. It pains me because I can't wait to build some of these things, of course. Dark Side Developer Kit. Now that big bin right there, that's all the instructions. So everything is complete. I actually have the boxes for everything as well. They're just in my other garage. So this is the room that holds the record. Again, there's some of the clocks, which do not count for the record. So all the Star Wars clocks. I have a bunch of keychains. They just happen to be in the room. Also on the Falcons, that's a Jorstad design, Liberty class, one of the Rebel fleets, and the same scale as the UCS ISDs. I just in here because I like it. Eventually, I have all my Lego together, but again, that's not part of the record. And of course, you have the scale Nebula Cruiser and all the other ships with it. So I'll take a break here. I'm going to go show you some more of my custom stuff, and then I'll go to the build room. All right, so most people are gonna know what this one is. It's what Mort said designs. It's the Nebula Cruiser. It's probably my favorite custom. I call it a mock, but I didn't design it. It's massive. I have the plans for a lot of his other scale ships for this. Just haven't had time to build them. This past summer was just getting everything ready for the Guinness record. I have almost all of Jorstad designs. Plans for Rebel Fleet, as well as his new Imperial stuff that came out. Just don't have the time. I will make the time, because to me some of these mock designs are just so much better than what Lego's putting out. Just so much more detailed, and the ships that fans want, obviously, and they're just great designs. So that one's right now it's in our theater. There's not any room to put it in the Lego room, so it kind of sits here by itself. All right, so this is what we call the build room. It's always kind of in a state of clutter. It's organized. So this room here is going to have any of our Lego sets that are not Star Wars, as well as a lot more of my duplicates. So here we just have bins of different pieces and bricks and wheels and whatnot. And this whole wall are going to be sets that I have doubles and triples of. And if they're in this room, there's already an original set in the Lego room. There's another custom I'm making. And of course, just bins of bricks sorted. Now Now, I do more than just Star Wars Lego. I love Lord of the Rings. I have a bunch of chess sets, some of the original castles, some of the later 90s castle sets. Here's some of the Technics that are, for the record, I brought them in here to build, so I can just have them displayed. I got lucky, found a store display from someone, more bricks. Now, these are the Exoforce. I think I'm missing 2 of a European releases only of the Exoforce. They were my son's growing up. He let me just keep them here because he's 24 now, and apparently that's too old to play with Legos, but 45 is perfect. And then my wife and I this past summer were getting some of our youngest son's Lego, putting them together. So, see, SpongeBob SquarePants have quite a few of those. Some of the Hobbit I'm trying to get together. Some of the Pirates chess set. And then down here is just, these are different garage sales. And I have so many bricks that I can just buy sets incomplete, and I'll just make them complete. Just like this, these are just, I got them at a garage sale. No instructions, whatnot, so let's go online and I'll make them complete. And I'll just add to the collection. Bins of minifigures. Now, not Lego, these are Mega Bloks. These are also my oldest sons. We have quite a few of the series, and they're Mega Bloks Dragons series. Amazing detail, magnets in the minifigures. Absolutely loved the series, just absolutely loved them. Here's, there's some stands of just all the figures, some of the figures of that Dragon series. Another display. Those are my sons. Now that box in the back is also down here. So these were mine. These are from what, 77, I believe, 77, 78. So those are the original Space Legos. They were mine. My brothers. Just my parents kind of kept them. And then I retired from the Army, and they moved down here, down to Georgia, and I kind of started getting my little toys, whatever they'd saved. And since Lego became a bigger hobby, I just took them back and made sure they had most of the parts. I think they're all complete. I'm pretty close. I have some more books. I'm going to pause it for now. I'm going to show you the closet. So this is that same room. This is just the closet. And this is where my wife and I store all the sealed sets. Obviously, you see a lot of Star Wars. These are duplicates, and you see battle packs, and there's 4 and 5 and 6 of them. They go on sale. My wife loves Harry Potter. We're trying to go and complete that whole series. We're not missing too many from hers anymore. She played a lot of soccer growing up, high school. So she has a lot of the soccer sets. She loves a lot of the ideas. So there's Voltron, the Treehouse, there's the Beatles, Yellow Submarine. Different sets. Again, more Harry Potter. The Hidden Side she's got a few of. She loves the modular, expert modular building. So there's the mini set. Haunted House, of course. The Nintendo. Of course, the Mario sets that go with it. Just got her a new Diagon Alley. And I'll show you downstairs in our bedroom, but she has, I think she's missing 2 or 3 of the expert modular sets. She absolutely loves those. We'll put some of those together. She'll just knock some out. And then in Germany, where she's stationed in the Army, she has all the Skyline series. And she's kind of going through and picking any of the other architecture ones out, but she has all the Skyline series in her office. And just more bricks, just more sorting. Different bins of different complete sets. As far as how I track them, I use Brickset for just any of the generic Legos. All the Star Wars as well. But for the Guinness record, I actually just did a whole separate database like Excel. Put it in order and then just had checklists and made sure I had everything. But regardless of what I'm missing, everything I own is on those Excel spreadsheets, as well as Brickset. And those are the main ones. Brickset's nice. I'm not sure what is on or not on it. I just know that anything I have is on one of the database of Excel spreadsheets. One of the questions I was asked is, how much is all this worth? A lot. So there's retail value, and then of course resale value, and it's a lot. I'll just leave it at that. I mean, people kind of saw what I have, and they can do the math in their head, and it's more than a few dollars and less than a lot of dollars. And again, like I said, all this started with my wife, that first set. I retired back in 2016 from the Army, and I got all my Lego and some of my Star Wars figures. And my wife just as I'm putting the Lego sets up, she just asked me, how many are you missing? And I was unaware of brick set, brick link. I just bought them in, go to Kmart, go to Walmart, buy a set, and put it on a shelf. And so when I finally got them all set up, I found, brick set and some of the inventory sites. I started putting them in order, and I found out what I was missing. And she's like, well, now you have to go back and collect them all. Because if you're going to have them and you're going to keep them, you might as well try to get them all. So I did not argue. As we're doing that, we're just making a little checklist of from 99 until now, what I was missing at the time. And she just happened to ask one day, she's like, I wonder if there's a record for that. And there's records for everything. And I'm like, well, it's a finite number. I can't imagine, but we'll see. Of course, looked it up, and it was set 2 years prior, John Jessenin, and it had the 378, I think it was. And at the time, I already had more sets, but I also knew I was missing quite a few. And I was like, well, I'm not going to even try to set it until I have almost everything. And I didn't even really know what everything was. And it got to a point where there's always releases every 6 months, and you have the USC or UCS releases. So there's always going to be more. And so it got to a point when I had the 600 such, thought I was going to be closer to 700. Like I said, there was just some stuff that was just stuck in the mail, some stuff from overseas, and I just set the record. Mostly a lot of good responses. I do have the typical, you must be rich. Well, you can't have a collection of Lego and not necessarily have money up to some degree. It's just not cheap. I don't think I'm rich. I've been doing this for over 20 years. And then, of course, I always get a person here and there, oh, my collection's just bigger. I just chose not to do it. Well, great. I'd love to see them, because I don't have every set, I'm not missing too many, then it can be beaten. It can be tied, and as well as it can be beaten. And there's a few sets that I just can't even find for sale right now. So if someone has those and everything else that I have, because you could have bought it in a store, then you could beat it. As far as I know, I'm only missing, again, 12 exclusive sets, and then you add the solid gold C-3PO and the 2 sets of the 3 Boba Fett minifigures, and I will never acquire those. So it's beatable. And if someone else does, great. I'm going to keep buying, and I'm going to keep trying to find the exclusives. And, to me, it's just fun. It's a dorky thing. I didn't get anything from getting the record. I got some certificates. I have friends, and they'll bring their kids over, and they love to do that. I'm thinking about starting up a nonprofit organization for vets, first responders with PTSD. Again, I did my 20 years, and there's nothing as cathartic as just sitting down and putting a set of Lego together, especially when it's a theme that you like, because you just dive into it, and it's hours later, and you finish your set, and you make your pew 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 noises, and your brain's just tired because it was busy. And so I've had some friends come in, they'll borrow sets, and they'll put them together, and then we'll take them apart and re-inventory them. So that's what I've been trying to figure out how I'm going to do it. But that's what I'm thinking about doing. So a lot of these sets, people will be able to come in and I'll have them taken apart, and I'll just put them together. Another question, how much money do I spend on Lego every month? It's a lot less now. When I was still trying to find everything, it got, more than $5 a month. Now that I'm missing very few sets, I think there's 2 exclusives that I can find on Bricklink still. Once those are done, I got 2 or 3 sets from the new wave, the the AT-AT I don't have yet, Emperor's Room, and I believe Grievous's ship, or the 3 that I just don't have yet. So once I have those, it's just I was spending none because I have everything, and I'll be searching for those exclusives. Who knows where they're at. I try Facebook Marketplace, and there's some people I'm meeting who say they know people, and as long as it's sealed, if I'm going to spend that kind of money, then I want it to be original, of course, and sealed. And then I'll discuss it with my wife, and there we go. So the 2 last questions. If Lego Star Wars set designers are watching, what would you like to tell them? Since Lego bought Bricklink, I think there's a huge untapped market with these mock designers. They're amazing sets. They know what collectors one, maybe not kids, not play sets. You know, you see some of these designers, and maybe because you own Bricklink, you can kind of, I wouldn't say flood, but you want to saturate the market with bricks, and you see these guys' inventories, and maybe just make complete brick sets for the plane, you know, Joystead designs, or you name it, and they come out with a vessel or ship, and the plans are great, and they have their inventory list. Maybe the designers will sit there and, you know, instead of designing, almost take it like ideas, where you might not get the money from the design itself, but hey, go to Bricklink and you click on Joystead design, whatever it is, or whatever designer you want, and they'll sort all the bricks for you, and they'll sell it for whatever amount, and they do all the work for you to then put it together. I think it'd be a great idea, because those who've done mocks and just trying to find bricks and using Bricklink, and it just gets, could be expensive, gets old. It's fun as well, but it'd just be great if there were people out there who would just get these inventory lists, compile the bricks for you, because I'd pay a little extra to save all that time. And then any thoughts on how Lego can improve Star Wars sets? We used to have the discussion over and over how they keep remaking sets, and it was explained to me, and it makes sense, where in 1999 they had the Landspeeder, and they didn't do another one for 2 or 3 years, and so the kids who were old enough to play with Lego then won a Landspeeder, so they keep coming out, and they'll redesign stuff for that next group of kids. They can own so many Millennium Falcons and so many X-Wings. So for a collector, it gets a little redundant, a little repetitive. But I think there's so many ships out there that they have not tried to do. That would be great. I'm sure they have teams that get together and they talk through the process and what ships they do and don't want. You know, they've done free makers, although they didn't do well. It was nice to see something new. Love to see more Rebels things, Clone Wars. But where Lego does not produce those sets, there are people who make custom plans that do. The Razor Crest just came out from Mandalorian. Nice little set, but there's a few out there I have the plans for. They're about twice the size, and I'll still buy the Lego set because I want it for the collection. But better sets, like I said, these designers out there, these guys who do customs, take a page from what they're doing, because the people who have a little bit more money and collect, that's what we're buying. And my name is Matt Hines. I'm out of Georgia, United States. And as of right now, I'm the current Guinness World Record holder for the world's largest Star Wars collection of Lego bricks. If you think you got more, apply, and let's make it a game. Let's have fun with this. If you don't, awesome. I love showing it off. I love talking about it.